For the last 26 years, Khatoon Bibi has been supporting her family as more than just a mother or a wife. This mother of 7 is a farm worker who gets paid through wheat grain bags instead of money. Khatoon Bibi's work primarily deals with wheat harvesting. Despite long hours spent in back-breaking labor, she does not get the adequate compensation.
ना पूरी भी ना देवा सही कितो मिलनी वाड़ी दे देवा पूरी ना देवा घट देवा मेहनत में से भी खा जावा.
Khatoon Bibi works along with 4 men in wheat harvesting. They work together on the fields and are paid 28 kilograms each for every acre of land they work on. That amounts to some 665 rupees, a meager compensation compared to their work. Many people in Khatoon's village of Takipur and adjacent villages on the outskirts of Lahore jump at the chance to receive any form of labor. But Khatoon laments at her labor due to the low returns.
और मर्द आने ने हैं इन्ना च बच्चियां नु की खवाइयत की किसे दिन देइए ते की आप करिए गुजारा भी नहीं है ते लोकी बेईमानी तो ले किनाल दा 2-10 दिन.
Such forms of economic exploitation are widespread in Pakistan, as especially in rural areas, where the percentage of people living below the poverty line is quite high. Out of 149 million laborers in Pakistan, 67% are associated with the field of agriculture, shows a population survey conducted in 2004. Local NGOs have insisted that the absence of the right to form a union is a major hindrance in the basic emancipation of farm workers.
बहुत सारी खेत मजदूर औरतों से मर्दों से मैंने कहा आप लोग यूनियन क्यों नहीं बनाते हो. कहने लगे बाजी आप तो हमें बनवा देंगे यूनियन और अगले दिन जो मालिक है वो हमें बाहर निकालेगा और नए मजदूर रख लेगा. तो ये कोई ऐसा लॉ होना चाहिए कि एक खेत मजदूर औरत को चाहे वो वक्ती तौर पर हो कुल वक्ती है या वक्ती है उसको यूनियन बनाने का हक हासिल है.
Constitutional expert Sadaf Aziz points out that the problem lies in the government's neglect of the entire matter.
Hard to imagine what the legal apparatus would look like that would provide for greater rights. Now, unless the state was to enter into the sphere as a more active participant in ensuring these rights, not simply through the law, but either as sort of a collector of wages and a distributor of them, so actually function, let's say, as an intermediary.
Khatoon Bibi echoes Sadaf Aziz's assertion, noting that the government has done nothing to help her plight.
आज सीधा तो कोई आया ही नहीं 26 साल च कोई वोटां दे बारे आउंदे.
When harvesting season is over, Khatoon performs odd jobs, where her compensation remains as unfair as ever. Unaware of their rights, overlooked in the greater economic schemes, millions like Khatoon Bibi toil day and night to take home what is less than $2 a day. Rabia Mahmood, Express 24/7, Lahore. Tajammul is looking for the remains of his mother in the debris of this destroyed market area in Allama Iqbal town, Lahore. On Monday night, Tajammul's mother, along with her sister and a nephew, had gone for shopping at the Moon Market. That's when the tragedy struck. While Tajammul's aunt and cousin escaped the deadly blasts that shook the market area within a span of just 30 seconds, his mother is still missing.
मैं अपनी बहन को तलाश कर रहा हूँ.
The attack on the Moon Market was the deadliest attack on Lahore to date and the first of its kind targeting the public places. The market is frequented by women and children. With the peak wedding season, it was crowded to the brim. The destruction was massive and the loss for many has been unbearable.
ये मेरी मामी है, इनकी बहन मिल गई है, वो जख्मी हॉस्पिटल से घर पहुंच गई हैं. ये अपने बेटे के साथ यहाँ हरीदोपुर के लिए आई थी, तो वो भी घर पहुंच गया, ठीक ठाक है. उन्होंने इस कलर के कपड़े पहने हुए थे, तो ये उनकी पट्टी का निशान भी था बाजू पे इस तरह ना, इस कलर का. हाथों पाँव पे मेहंदी भी लगी है. तो रात की इनकी तलाश है, तो कहीं पता नहीं चल रहा.
Human loss aside, the damage inflicted to the Moon Market has added to the economic losses of the people. Other than the small independent shops and food stalls, 3 plazas with 50 shops each were wrecked as a result of the fire that broke out after blast. Helpless owners saw their entire shops and a lifetime of hard work perishing in flames.
सब कुछ बर्बाद हो गया, आपके सामने ही है, देख लें क्या हाल हुआ. इधर देख लें, उधर देख लें, इनका बेचारों को करोड़ों रुपए का नुकसान हो गया, करोड़ों का कपड़ा था। नए सिरे से या किसी से कह के पैसे लूँगा, किसी से कुछ करके नए सिरे से शुरू करूँगा।
Locals are now picking up the pieces from the blast. Others are coming to look for their missing loved ones, and the Allama Iqbal Town graveyard had 26 new graves dug for the funerals. Dealing with grief, rebuilding lives and starting over. There is not much that the survivors of these blasts and the victims' families have to hold on to. And as they gather themselves from the shock and distress, the security situation in the country remains tense. Rabia Mahmood, Express 24/7, Lahore. On July 20th, Ataullah and his family will be returning to their homes in Mingora. The 16-year-old Ata has 6 siblings, out of which 4 are dumb and deaf. His father was a victim of an explosion by Taliban in November 2008. Bearing the burden of responsibility, Ata has been trying to get the ATM cash card the government had promised.
अब हम लोग जा रहे हैं ना, ये भी नहीं किया है कि हम अब 100 जाके कार्ड ATM कार्ड देंगे.
Ata's family is settled at the Chota Lahore camp in Swabi. Ata's mother, a patient of hepatitis C, laments the loss of her home and the lack of government support.
زما ساروی زما هر څه ډک کور پاتې شي، هغه لاړو لوټ شي د پابل ور ټلیفون وشو چې ستاره کور نه غنم وتلی ستا جرندې ماتې شي دي نه اخر زه چلو کمال تم لوټ او دلتم د زما سره حکومت دا چل کړي.
Since the beginning of the repatriation, thousands of people have had to face the non-issuance of the government promised ATM card worth rupees 25,000. While some protested and refused to go unless the cards were issued, many left for homes regardless.
50,000 روپۍ مونږ ته نه دی میلاو شوي. یو ځای ته یې لیږي او بل ځای ته یې لیږي او ونه شوې. دغه شانتې روان شو.
لکه نور تنګ شي د حکومت د سیډه راته پیسې نه میلاویږي، بس ځو او خپل را سره څه نشته.
نو زه د مجبورۍ نه ځم، ماته ماشومان خرابېږي، وږي دي، بیمار دي، ناجوړه دي، واوره نشته، اوبه نشته. د تکلیف نه ځمه، که دا هلته راته بیا حالت خراب شو، د خپل بچي به وولم، ځان به وولم. په تکلیف کې ما تکلیف نه ځمه.
که پیسې مونږ ته میلاو شوې خو میلاو به شي، که نه نو بس مونږ خو د مجبورۍ نه ځو، بچي هم دلته خرابېږي، دانې پرې راخېږي.
Zebunisa and her children plan to return, but the thoughts of making ends meet once she gets back scare her.
باقي ما په بل وطن باندې قرضدار وکړو، ما په دې کیم کې وخوړې او دا ما په دنیا روپۍ پیسې په کرایه نه په یو شي په بل شي ولګولې چې زه وطن ته لاړه شم، زه بې زبانو بچو سره به ځالته څنګ وم.
Despite their financial crises and personal problems, the displaced persons are choosing repatriation in large numbers. Many hardships will be faced by these displaced when they finally reach home. Still, the willingness to go home and start over is an example of an unprecedented courage. Rabia Mahmood, Express 24/7, Chota Lahore Camp, Swabi.